Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I will explain you how we can merge two sorted lists. The question goes like this. Merge two sorted linked lists and return it as a sorted list. The list should be made by splicing together the nodes of the first two lists. So if these were two lists, essentially single linked list, 1 to 4, 1, 3, 4, the eventual answer should be 1, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. And if the lists were empty, you should return the empty list. Um, and if the list had only one node, we return that only node. And also, we have to consider these constraints that the number of nodes should be in the range of 0 and 50, and the node value should not exceed more than 100. This should be in range minus 100 to 100. And it's very obvious that both the lists should be in sorted order. So here is the definition of list node or simply linked list. It has value and it has address of next node, right? So let's dive into the solution. Before writing the solution, let's brainstorm what we will do in this. So we are having two lists. Um, so what we'll do is we'll start by creating a new dummy list, and we will compare the list nodes of both the lists, for example 1 with 2, and we will take the smaller value or the smaller node value and we append it to the dummy list. And we do this all the way as we loop over all the nodes of L1 and L2, we compare it and we append that to the dummy node. This will be a lot clearer once I write the solution. So let's create the dummy list first. Node dummy equals to new list node. So here's the declaration of that, and then we'll have another node with which we will call it as head node, which will point to our dummy node. Once we're done with that, we run a while loop essentially for L1 and L2 until they're not null. If L1 is not null and L2 is not null, then we check if L1 dot value, that essentially means if L1 value is less than or equals to L2 dot value. If that is the case, then we update the dummy list with L1 value, or L1 dummy dot next equals to L1. And once we do that, so we compared these two lists, and we compared the first node 1 with 2, and we got 1, which is the smallest value, and we updated that into the dummy node here. And once we do that, we have to move the pointer so that we are not repeating the element again and again. So we do L1 equals to L1 dot next, and then if that is not the case, if L2 values was smaller, uh, then what we do, we will append the dummy node with the L2 value, right? Dummy dot next equals to L2, and we also have to increment the pointer so that we don't repeat L2 nodes again and again. So L2 equals to L2 dot next. So then once we're done with that, so we have compared these two and we have appended that with the value, the smallest value in the dummy node, and we also have to increment the pointer for the dummy node, right? So that we are not writing on the same location again and again. So we do dummy equals to dummy dot next. So once we are done with that, we essentially looped over all the elements by using the while loop. Once we are done with that, we have to check whether we are having any trailing nodes in the list 1 or list 2. In this case, we are having 6, 7. So we append that to the dummy list, right? So we check if L1 is not null, then we append it to dummy list. Dummy.next would be L1, or else we check for L2 if there are any trailing nodes in L2. If it is there, then we just update it to the dummy list. Dummy.next would be L2. So once we are done with that, we essentially return the head node here. So we looped over all the nodes and we have updated the dummy node with the nodes in ascending order. That is in sorted order, and we just return this head dot next because it is pointing to our dummy node, right? So it will give us the dummy list with all the values or all the nodes in there which are in sorted order. So return head dot next. So that's it. As far as the complexity goes, the complexity or the runtime complexity would be, in the worst case, would be big O of n, and the place complexity, since we are not defining any or not using any extra data structures, it would be constant. So let's run this and see. We are missing a curly brace here, I think. Let's run the code and see. So it is giving us some errors here. Okay, so we are missing L2 is not equals to null. L1 is not equals to null. L1 is not equals to null. Sorry, how did I make that? So that's about it. Let's run it again. So if you see the answer, our answer is 112344, and the expected answer was this. Let's submit this and see the results. So it passed all the test cases here, 208 out of 208. So that's about it. If you liked the video, please give it a like, thumbs up, and please share with your friends and subscribe. Thank you. See you in the next video.